What's happening, guys? Teddy Striker here, and in this video I want to talk about sparring and how fighters should train and how fighters actually train sometimes, because I feel like it's something that, if it's done well, like, can actually like enhance their careers and just make them better fighters as well. And what I want to talk about specifically is, should UFC fighters stop sparring hard to the head? And the reason I say that is because obviously you might need to experience like a couple things, like obviously to the legs and body. You could still like probably like get injuries going too hard, but limiting the use of like hard shots to the head, I feel like it's not only do I feel like it's so much more beneficial for fighters, but it's been proven. Like Demetrius Johnson, he doesn't spar hard to the head. He only goes harder to the body and legs. And look at his career longevity. He's only been knocked out once, and he's got over 30 professional fights at the highest level in multiple different organizations. A lot of the Thai boxers, they've got like 300 fights, and in certain gyms they do spar hard, but for a lot of them they don't spar hard. They spar light, but what they do is intense like drilling to improve their technique, and it actually helps out a lot. Like for example, one pretty bad example of why you probably shouldn't spar as hard and you should train smarter, is like when Forrest Griffin took on Anderson Silva. Apparently he got knocked out like before the fight, and when he came out the fight, like the dude was like, he was getting dropped basically by the wind. Like Anderson Silva was tapping him with jabs, he like 20% power, and Forrest Griffin was falling over like he just got shot in the head. It was crazy. It was not good. Same thing with Anthony Joshua. Like apparently he got knocked out 2 weeks before he fought Andy Ruiz, and we saw what happened in that fight. He got dusted. It was like close at first, but eventually, like when he actually got clipped, he went down pretty easy and he couldn't recover. And another advocate for why you should spar lighter is Max Holloway. Max Holloway made a great point, basically saying that fighters, if you're in the UFC at that point, you already know how to fight. Like you should, have racked up time in the amateur fights, in your local amateur circuit, not amateur but professional circuit. And when you're at that level, you don't really need to go as hard. Like he says he didn't spar for the second Alexander Volkanovski fight, but I don't know about that. Same thing with Calvin Kattar. But what I do know is he did reduce his sparring. He did look a lot fresher in those fights. And Max Holloway also said that due to his lack of sparring, it actually like takes away a lot of the injuries. Like for example, Charles Oliveira, he spars hard, and the reason he pulled out the Islam Makhachev fight is because he was sparring hard without headgear and he got cut. I don't know what happened, but it was unfortunate, and that's like a silly way to have a fight be stopped. And also, light sparring actually like helps you with your timing and rhythm. Obviously, you can still get those benefits in hard sparring, but you're doing it in a much more safe and controlled environment. Like Sean Strickland, for example, his timing and his rhythm is really good. Like he's got great reaction times as well, and he's able to just get out the way of shots and like land his shots with great accuracy. He's got some of the highest striking defense, and he spars a lot. Now he does spar hard, but part of the reason he does that is because his defense is so good, so he doesn't get hit as much as other people do. Not everyone has that type of striking defense as Sean Strickland, so it's gonna be a lot different for many fighters. But to get those same benefits as Sean Strickland is reduce the intensity. You don't have to go as hard. Like Wonderboy, he's also got arguably better rhythm and distance management and reaction time than Sean Strickland, and he definitely has better reaction times than a lot of other welterweights. But the guy's like 40 years old. Yes, he's a striker, but he's still 40 years old, and he's like just outstriking these guys completely. A big part of striking is that distance control, your reaction time, and like your timing. And also, it can make training for a specific opponent easier because your training partners, they're not going to feel like they're getting beat up and hurt while trying to like copy another fighter. They can easily like switch over to the southpaw stance if your opponent is a southpaw, not get beat up and like give you that look. So I believe it's important. I think a lot of fighters would have their careers extended, but let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think fighters should stop hard sparring?